I'm speaking primarily about the courtroom and the kind of the court system in America because I'm ignorant of other countries and how they operate, and I don't know anything about it. I'm too lazy to look, and it doesn't matter anyway. If I went into all of the terrible, terrible things that have been caused by court systems, courts, and lawyers, and the legal profession in this country alone, this video would last for endless hours, and I don't have that kind of time, and neither do you. The advice I would give to anyone, young or old, lame or healthy, anyone willing to listen, would be the legal system, a lot like the police system in this country. If there is any possible way that you can avoid it, avoid it. Run, walk, whatever. Take your losses if that's possible. Just walk away and move on with your lives. The time, the effort, the anxiety, and the money that you will spend tangled up in the American court system isn't worth it. If you can walk away, walk away. If there's a squabble with a neighbor over the fence line or a tree branch or whatever, he scratched my car, just take your losses and walk away. It isn't worth your time. Sometimes it is worth it. Maybe your children are at stake. Or maybe, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars you're being, somebody's trying to shaft you out of, or millions or whatever. There are reasons that you might have to go to court, but you better be prepared. Anybody that's been through this meat grinder, almost the first thing they'll tell you, well, you need to get a lawyer. Why? Why do we need to get a lawyer? Imagine speaking to an electrician. You got plans, you drew it up on paper to build onto your house. Well, you're going to need electric out there. And so you speak to an electrician, and he starts talking about sub panels and branch circuits and ground fault circuits. And you don't speak that language. You have no idea what he's talking about. And at some point, it just becomes too much, and you just make it happen, Let me know how much it's going to cost. Try to give me a ballpark number here. Magnify that by who knows how much with the legal system. A lot of the legal system is based in Latin. Oh, Latin's a dead language. When people go to law school, they learn a lot of these Latin phrases. There's entire encyclopedias based on them. Dictionaries would be a better term. I have several of the older ones because the older the law, the closer you get to the actual truth. At one time, this really interested me. So I would see these old, this is the 3rd edition, Black's Law. I don't know where they're at now, 14, 15, I don't know. It just gets more and more watered down as you go because the legal system has gotten so much more perverted. But we keep hearing, and we always hear, well, equality under the law, justice under the law. What they mean is just us. Y'all fend for yourselves. And make no mistake about that. That's why I say stay clear of it, if at all possible. Do you think that me, Joe Blow, citizen, and citizen's a bad word to use, but that's a whole other thing. If I was giving away classified documents and governmental secrets, and then when they caught me, I tried to wipe the servers clean using technology and erase any record of my misdeeds, do you think there'd be anywhere I would be except prison by the end of the afternoon? No. Well, Hillary Clinton can, but she's different, see. There is no equality under the law. They can say it all they want to, it just isn't so. These old law dictionaries are filled with interesting little nuggets because what isn't in Latin, they've taken the English language and perverted it so badly that you and I have no clue that is what has happened. In one of these, I think it's the 2nd edition, under the definition for human being, it says, see also monster. That's what they think of you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your situation. They don't care that you're going to lose your family farm for 7 generations. They don't care. They care about money. And those prosecuting, they're making money too. But they also care about power and control, and that's it. You'll also hear about people saying, what's my constitutional right? Do you even know what your Constitution says, number one? Number two, what Constitution are we talking about? There's the United States Constitution, but you're not really a party to that contract. Each state has their own constitution. I happen to have a copy of the Arkansas State Constitution from 1874. It is very well written as state constitutions go. This is one of many of the examples where they break things up into subdivisions and you have specialties. You got to have a commercial lawyer. You might have to have a domestic lawyer. That's family court. Well, this is civil. Well, this is criminal. Well, all these, this is real estate now that we're talking about. All these different divisions. You as the common Joe Blow, you don't have the time, the means, or the tools to do that. And sooner or later, you're going to get in a courtroom and they're going to trip you up. Some little term or something, and you're not going to know. You're not going to have that access to pull it up. One moment, Your Honor, let me Google this term. Put in a Google for any kind of legal question. The first thing you're going to get is 67 billion ads of lawyers trying to get your business. Because money. Then you have to be a lawyer to practice law. You can actually go to jail for practicing law without a license. What is this license? Why is it so vitally important that I have it? It's the Bar Association, BAR, the British Accredited Royalty. You have to be a barfly. It's a club, you see, and you ain't in it, and neither am I. Be thankful for that, but just know, going into that courtroom, if you don't have one of these, oh, so you're representing yourself. I am myself. I don't represent anything. Why is it so important to either have representation or be representing yourself? They even have a term for it. It's called a pro se litigant. Oh, he's representing himself. It's like taking yourself, and I'm going to speak for this infant. But you're not a barfly, see? You got to hire a barfly. They have to be a licensed attorney or they're going to walk right on over you. Constitution, State of Arkansas, Article 2. Like I said, Arkansas is one of the more well-written ones. Equality before the law. This is Article 2, Section 3. The equality of all persons before the law is recognized, and it goes on. Well, person, that's people, right? Well, not in bar language. This is from a dictionary Webster wrote in 1969. See, they've changed those too. But like I said, the older you go, the closer you get to the truth. And under person, one of the definitions is derived from Latin persona, meaning originally, quote, a mask for the face, a guise, a semblance, as if in a play. There again, the representation. What you want is sui juris, acting in your own stead. But there again, we're going to Latin, and people don't know that. And why would they? See, there again, it's the twisting of words. Now again, Arkansas State Constitution. How well written is it? Article 2, Section 5, right to bear arms. I'll read you the whole thing. Citizens of this state shall have the right to keep and bear arms for their common defense. Period. That's the end of it, of that section, Section 5. Doesn't say anything about a militia. It doesn't say anything about, in case somebody attacks or anything. Common defense. It's well written, right to the point. But that brings us to another fact, and that the courts, when they have the truth presented right in front of them by just a common Joe, just folk, they just ignore it. Here's a prime example. Still in Article 2. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Don't sweat. But Article 2, Section 7, jury trial. Private trial by jury shall remain inviolate and shall extend to all cases at law without regard to the amount in controversy. Then we start talking about jury trials. When you get hauled in against your will for a speeding ticket, do you get a jury of your peers? Of course you don't. We're not doing that because we said so. We have the guns, you don't. Why is there a little railing, little knee wall? It's not for security. I mean, anybody could hop right over that thing. You're entering a foreign jurisdiction in any courtroom. what was your state of natural being, you're surrendering that. You're crossing a line, see, into this imaginary world where we make the rules and you don't have any say in it, even on the base level. And I witnessed this as a young, I was 13, something like that. Buddy of mine got in some trouble. I was a quote unquote witness. And I witnessed this part of it. We've all seen enough TV shows and Judge Judy and whatnot, which is just, that's the worst of the worst. But anyway, we've all seen it. At the start of court, they say, all rise, and everybody stands up. Why? Why are we rising for the judge? I don't rise for any man. But that wasn't the case. Because way back when, and again, I saw this with my own eyes, they said, the bailiff usually said, all rise, and the judge walked into the courtroom from his little fun house in the back, carrying a Holy Bible above his head, and he walked up to his bench and sat down. That book was the Holy Bible that he was carrying, and that signified that the truth, the Bible, comes first and foremost, and that man himself or herself, or whoever the judge was underneath that truth, a structure of order. Those are gone. Now, you don't ever see one carrying out the Bible now because it's lies. And it's certain rules apply to certain people and not to others. Persons, perhaps. It's this whole mystery world. And the arrogance of lawyers, they get off on it, man. There's the old joke, what's the difference between a lawyer and a bag of horse manure? The bag, that's there for a reason. It's the arrogance of this little club, we're in it, you're not. That's fine, go ahead. I've talked to enough people over the years that say, man, you should have been a lawyer. You can sit and nitpick every little thing. I couldn't possibly be a lawyer. Number one, I'm a terrible liar. I don't like it. I couldn't do it. And number two, that's not an honest way to make a living. I have a really hard time when somebody's at their most vulnerable trying to cash in on them. Well, my base rate is, it's $2,500 to get you started, depending on the case. That could be $25,000. And I charge $400 an hour, and no, the whole system is not for me, and it's not for you. Like I said, if you take nothing else away from it, try to avoid it. If there's any possibility, you can just walk away and I'll pay for the fence that the limb fell and broke. It wasn't my fault. I shouldn't have to. But if it's ever go to court, I'll pay for it because, you don't want any part of that. You don't want any part of an interaction with the police. You just don't. If it can be helped. Hey, thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time.